What is up, guys? We are finally here. This is my final team going into round one. Now, obviously, subject to rookie changes, that's about it. But everything else, I'm going to try and leave it and not play with it too much over this week. I think that's one of the biggest things that we all struggle with is that, last preseason game, or whether it's the round 0 to round 1. It seems like so much carnage can happen in that time, especially for me. I feel like I've made some last-second changes with primos to mid-prices I'd never considered. So if I'd give you one bit of advice, it would be do not jump off guys you've studied all preseason and you've been keen on all preseason, because at the end of the day, if you don't start them, all that research is wasted, really. So let's get into my team. This is it. This is final. All right. Harry Sheasel D1. Obvious, no-brainer pick. Not too much to say about this one. I mean, if you're casual, the guy's a gun at Supercoach. If you're an experienced player, you know how good he really is. I don't think it really matters what position he plays. It seems like, regardless of role, the guy finds a way to score. Just an absolute beast, and yeah, very happy to start him. D2, Dane Zorko. Now, Brisbane's run early is very, very nice. So I'm happy to start him. I know he's pretty expensive. You're paying top dollar, but I think he's a very safe 110. Out of all the Seagulls, he's probably my favourite one in the comp. I mean, I don't like him at all as a person, but as a player, he's very good in that back line. So, yeah, Dane Zorko, very safe pick, I think. I think if you're picking Sheasel and Zorko, they're almost guaranteed going to be top 6 or around the mark, unless something drastic changed. D3, we're going with Matt Roberts now. I know he's 32% now, so we've lost a bit of value on that. Pod potential, which he was when I was initially considering him. I think he was in like 5%, if that, when I first put him in the team. But yeah, Matt Roberts, I feel like he's almost a safe pick. Obviously early buy, which is a bit annoying, but man, I'm very keen on what Matt Roberts can do. Now, I know he didn't get the kick-ins, but it didn't seem to matter. It seemed like Blakey was kicking to him short pretty much every time Blakey kicked in. So, yeah, it's a bit annoying that we don't have those guaranteed kick-ins like we probably thought at the start for Roberts, but I'm still happy with that pick. I think he can go top 6, to be honest. I think he can really get close to that 110 mark as long as he stays in that role. Very, very friendly role for Supercoach. So, yeah, keen on the Roberts pick. Then directly under him, we got Perryman. Did more than enough after in that practice game. I think it was like 27 disposals, couple tackles, so looked really good. I think he can go 100, about that. Probably not too much more. Wouldn't say too much less either. So, yeah, I'm keen on Perryman. I mean, Roberts and Perryman are kind of no-brainer picks after seeing what they did in round 0, I think. Time will tell, but at this point, based on the information we have, they have to come into the team. Too much upside there. And not really any other defensive options that I like, more being the case. So after that, we'll just fill it out with rookies. So Patton obviously scored the 67. Looked all right. Not sure how safe his role is. I think with all these rookies, I'm not really too sure how safe their role is. So, yeah, Patton. We have Zach Reid, James Leake, and Luke Traynor. So, yeah, all these guys, pretty shaky job security. That's why I've tried to keep. It's semi-strong in that back line. I've got 4, quote-unquote premiums. A lot of people are running 5. So, fair enough. I'm hoping some of these defending rookies can hold on, though. At the end of the day, we do have a flex. So, worst-case scenario, you get a donut. It's not too bad compared to seasons past. But that's it for the back line, guys. Let's get in. What do we want to do? Do we want to do the rucks? Do we want to do the mids? I reckon we do the rucks next, because I feel like everyone's doing the mid. All right. Number 1 pick, Max Gawn. Now, Max Gawn, I'm scared of what he's going to do to Lockie Keefe this weekend. I think it's going to be a massacre, and I'd be very surprised if he went anything below 150, which is what Darcy Cameron went against him. This guy, first of all, he's as fit as he's ever been, running endurance-wise, which I reckon that's great. For someone his age, I'm very keen on Max Gawn being able to get from contest to contest. If he can do that, I mean, he's already going 124 with a underperforming midfield. He brings back Christian Petrarca, clearly their best player. He brings back Clayton Oliver into form, who is potentially their best player when fully fit. And, obviously sorting the off-field issues out. So I really think Melbourne's going to come to form this year, just generally. And obviously it's going to be on the back of Max Gawn leading the charge. So 124 average last year. I think he's going 130 plus this year. Especially that early fixture. Oh my God, it's good. I think he's got Wits. So Wits is probably the only game in that first little bit where it scares me a bit. I think we'll probably go like a 90 or something. He won't be my captain that round just because Wits is obviously very restrictive. Cherry, honestly, I'm not really that worried about Cherry. Look, he went 114 against him last year and 130 the year before, so Cherry doesn't worry me too much. But yeah, Wits will be hard. But after that, Geelong, he'll play Sam De Koning, he'll play Essendon, Sam Draper, easy. Freo, Liam Reedy, easy. Richmond, Nank, easy. West Coast, super easy. And then it gets a little bit trickier, but all the way up till that round 8. I mean, the thing with Gawn is he can score against anyone, really. But in terms of real big captain scores, that's what I'm looking for in those first 8 rounds. So super keen on picking Max Gawn. Can't wait. I mean, he's only in 18% of teams. Very disrespectful, I think. 54% have gone Cherry. I mean, I get the whole age thing. Cherry's going to go big in round 1, so don't expect... I would assume Cherry will go big in round 1 against English. But, he's got a very hard fixture. And at the end of the day, Cherry will be in my team. But I'm hoping to get this guy to him, and that is Tom De Koning. So when Pinnonet comes back, that is when I'm going to target Cherry, and hopefully Cherry's played all of his hard matchups by then. Hopefully get him a little bit cheaper. Don't think we'll get him too much cheaper. Maybe 600, maybe 550, somewhere in that range, hopefully. Otherwise, yeah, probably have to pay 600 for him, which I'm okay with doing. But he's a big priority. Once Pinnonet comes back, it's a big priority to get De Koning out, and it's a big priority to get Cherry in for that run home where he will go nuts. So Tristan Cherry, it's not like I'm ignoring him, fading him totally. Just as a starting pick, I think, I'm pretty confident in Max Gawn over him early on. And then obviously Harry Boyd, R3. Nothing too crazy here. So the forwards next. Actually, I might as well do the flex. So the flex is big bad Matty Flynn, who bit of a no-brainer pick. Soul rucking at West Coast. Pretty confident he can at least go 90 as a soul ruck, and that'll make us plenty of coin at 260k and a decent on-field scoring option. So yeah, I think he's a no-brainer. You pretty much have to pick him. We'll just control minus so we can see that full team. That looks a bit better for you guys. All right, let's go to forwards. So this is where it gets a little bit interesting. So at F1, Jason Horne-Francis, pretty bullish on what he can do. Now I know he might cop tags early. It's going to be him or Rosie. I'm not sure. So maybe 1 or 2 games in that early run that one of them get tagged, or they don't tag at all because both of them are so good. But yeah, Horne-Francis has looked amazing. Reminds me of like Dangerfield in his prime, just the way he bursts out of the packs, the way he hunts and tackles, and yeah, it looks really, really good to the eye. And yeah, hopefully some more mid-time, especially with Butters out early. Obviously, Port have a very good fixture. So yeah, we're going to pick Horne-Francis with a lot of confidence that he can go 105 plus, I think, and almost guaranteed he'll be a top 6 forward. F2, Isaac Rankin. Now, Isaac Rankin's my play to drop if I need any more expensive rookies. So more than likely he'll be my team, but if I do need to grab some expensive rookies and need some cash, I will drop Rankin to a mid-pricer or to Hugo Garcia, who I've actually had to take out of my team, unfortunately. So I'm a bit annoyed about that, but yeah, it is what it is. Rankin's going to score more than him. So yeah, Rankin, most CBAs for Adelaide. That's a very promising sign. They've said that they want to play him more in the midfield, and I think it makes sense. The guy is a monster. And yeah, I'm excited to see what he can do in the midfield. To be honest, it's going to be crazy going from that forward pocket role to an actual pure mid role. I reckon he's going to go nuts. Yeah, not much else to say about him. F3, it's got to be the most owned, or third most owned, Jack McRae. Yeah, I'm very keen on McRae. Obviously, I think he can get back Not quite to the 130, but I think he can get back to the 110, which is definitely enough. Obviously at that price, there's not much to say about him. Then we got Bailey Smith. I am a bit scared of fading him now. I know I thought about it initially, but just a bit worried that, Chris Scott's playing a bit of a deceiving game with the media, not really, revealing his cards with this midfield. Because I don't think they would have brought him over to not play a pivotal role in that midfield. I could be wrong, but I'd rather be on than off at this point, the Smith train. Then obviously Caleb Daniel, Sam Davidson, and we're fading Isaac Kako. Now, this is another one that I said I might need to drop a ranking to get some money for Kako. But at this point, I don't really trust Kako's role. I know he kicked 4 goals or whatever. Yeah, he looked good. He looks great. But Supercoach-wise, I don't trust the role. I don't think it's a really friendly role, and I don't like the price tag. So I know he's in 70% of teams, but look, if I have to get him round 2, round 3, I'll do it. But I don't think it's the worst thing not to start him. And, obviously when you're going against someone 70% owned, it's a bit risky, no doubt about it, but you got to take risk in this game if you want to have any chance at winning it. Elijah Hewitt at F7 and Connor Stone looks solid, so pretty keen on those two. Hewitt hopefully plays mid if he plays, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Now the midfield, so this is where it gets interesting. At M1, I have Andrew Brayshaw. Now, reason being, I think he doesn't cop tags. I'm really scared of taggers this year. I'm petrified of taggers because all these top dollar guys, all it takes is one tag, and their price is going to plummet. Nick Dacos probably cops Will Drew this week. I think he'll have 2 bad scores. He might do a bit better this week. He'll be more fit and whatnot, but he's still going to find it hard. If they decide to clamp him, they definitely can. So I'm worried about guys like Dacos. That's why I think he's a perfect upgrade target early on. So Brayshaw, I don't think cops the tag. I think it's clearly Sarong. I think teams know Sarong is definitely the better player. So I'm keen on Brayshaw. Very nice fixture early on. I think he's pretty safe pick. 110 last year. Very underdone preseason. Actually played through an injury for a lot of that first half of the year. So a lot of upside on this Brayshaw pick. And only 11% owned, which is, it's not super pod, but it is a little bit poddy. So I'm keen on him. We're not going any of the top dogs. We're going down to a Connor Rosie. Rosie's in a similar boat where he was injured a bit of last year, and no butters means he can really go nuts. And this guy's only young still. He can go bananas in those first 5-6 weeks with the soft fixture. I think it's Richmond Bulldogs, Collingwood in there somewhere. Very weak midfields. So I think we can expect Rosie to go 105 to 110 pretty early, I would say. Maybe even more with no butters. So yeah, very excited to see what he can do. And obviously he was unbelievable in the practice match. I mean, he looks like a class above. And I know it was only a practice match, whatnot. But I'm keen on Rosie. 22% owned. No early buy. So yeah, I've actually avoided all the early buys. Spoiler alert. Let me tell you why I don't think picking Finn Callaghan as a starting pick is going to work for me. It definitely could work in general, but for me personally, I want to see that he can back it up, and I think you can afford to wait because he's not going to go up. If you don't pick him this week or next week, he's got that bye. So we can wait a couple more games, see what he really can do. Oh, sorry, we can wait this game. Then he's got round 2. Round 2 bye? Yeah, he's got round 2 bye. So we can watch him again in round 1 against a stronger mid, Melbourne. Definitely a stronger mid. Clayton Oliver, Viney, Petrarca. And I think he'll be fine, but then we can pick him up after the bye. And more than likely, right, we're not going to get everything right. So more than likely, we can go and grab someone like a Rosie or a Brayshaw if they flop, or a Chera, and we can drop them to a Callaghan after his bye. And Callaghan's going to make us a lot of money, and he's also going to probably produce some pretty good scores. So I'm still just as keen on him as a pick, but I just think we can wait, get that one more game of information, and then jump on straight after the buy and just make that correction or trade. Because like I said, more than likely we're not going to hit all our picks. Probably hit, I don't know, hopefully most of them, but they're probably going to be more than one that don't hit. So, yep, that's my thoughts on Finn Callaghan and why I haven't picked anyone in the early buy. Now we go down to big bad Clayton Oliver. Not too much to say with him. Obviously, he's capable of getting back into that top 8 mid-range. He's a capable M1, to be perfectly honest. I don't know if he will get back there, but definitely 20 plus points of upside. He's priced at 83. It's crazy. It's crazy how much he dropped off, but still in the prime of his career. I don't see why he can't get back to his best. So very safe pick, I think, Clayton Oliver. And I don't think he cops tags. So I was thinking about this before. Obviously, GWS round 1. Bedford goes to one of Petrarca and Oliver. I think it's Petrarca. So I think we can rest a little bit easier as Oliver owners. Even if he does go to Clary, I mean, worst case, Clary, everyone's got him. So it doesn't really matter. You know, he cops a bad score round 1, whatever. He could go 150 round 2. So, but like I said, I think they go to Petrarca. But realistically, they probably go to whoever's going off. You know what I mean? Like if Clary has a 70-point half, they'll probably go to Clary in the second half, something like that. Or they don't tag at all. I think with Collingwood, it was a little bit more obvious. They only had the one gun mid playing, no Degoe. So it was like Dacos was the clear target. And I think he will be the clear target. That's why I'm a bit worried if I'd be picking him. So, yeah. Clary is M3. M4 just a little bit down, Adam Chera. Another one that I don't think will cop tags. I think it's clearly going to be Cripps or Walsh. And Chera's that third in line to get tagged. And you know what? Brayshaw might even be third in line behind Luke Ryan. So another reason to pick him. But moving back to Chera, yeah, I'm keen on him. Obviously, he's got injury history. Everyone knows that. But yeah, upside's definitely there. Clearly, he can go 110 or 108 or whatever. And he's still in his prime. You know, he's only young still. So yeah, I think he's a very safe pick. Obviously, looked great in the practice match. I think he scored like 100.5 or something. Yeah, looks really fit. And yeah, I'm keen on him. A lot of value right there. Then the next pick we have, and it's someone I haven't actually had pretty much in my team all preseason, but I've caved, and I've caved purely based on fixture, and that is Will Ashcroft. Basically the same price as Callaghan, but doesn't have the early buy. Like I said, we get a 2 weeks to look at Ashcroft, and if he's not good, I can happily sideways him to Callaghan. The reason I like the Ashcroft pick is because of the early fixture and not a tag threat as far as I'm concerned. Also, doesn't need a heap of CBAs to score well. So I'll show you what I mean by this. Let's go to DFS Australia real quick. And while I'm here, I'm going to show you guys a really positive sign for Finn Callaghan. If we look at GWS in 2024, Callaghan went at 43% CBAs, and 2025 he's at 88. So he's literally doubled that this year. Now, will that happen when Tom Green comes back? I think it could. I genuinely think it could. I think Josh Kelly's the one that's clearly the better winger. I think he gets pushed out, but like I said, we have a little bit of time. Hopefully, Tom Green plays this week. If he doesn't, so be it. We'll take a punt on the fact that Callaghan's a gun and they're going to play him where he needs to be played. But yeah, really positive signs for Callaghan's role. Clearly there, CBAs are there. So we look at Will Ashcroft in 2024. And if we look at his grand final, so he only had the 42% CBAs, right? And he went nuts, clearly. He was best on ground. Which is really a really promising sign because it means he doesn't need CBAs to score well. I also had a look at Adam Chera, and I think in the prime of his career, he never went over like 50% CBAs. So those two guys are guys that are capable of scoring well without needing CBAs. Because at the end of the day, not always do you need to have those centre bounce attendances to score well. Someone like Jack Steele, for example, has all the CBAs in the world and was still pumping out like 70s. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, Will Ashcroft works really hard around the ground. Full preseason. Don't forget about that. Full preseason. I really think he can get on that level of the Sheezels, the Dacoses. I reckon he can match them or go close to it. Obviously, very soft draw to start season 2025. I mean, you look at it, I think it's, what is it? It's another reason we could pick Lachie Neale The only thing with Lachie Neale and why I wouldn't pick him, he's got Jordan coming to him round 1, almost guaranteed. So let's look at Ashcroft's first 5. So he's got West Coast round 2. Very, very good matchup. Geelong, pretty weak midfield. Richmond, obviously struggling. Bulldogs, obviously struggling. No Bont. Collingwood, definitely struggling. St Kilda, not particularly strong. Gold Coast, they'll be tough-ish, I guess, in the mid. And then North. So it's like Ashcroft could go nuts. He genuinely could. So I'd like to be on that train. And like I said, we can correct it if we need to a Finn Callaghan. More than happy to do that. I think one of these guys probably will be corrected, to be honest. I don't necessarily know if they'll all pay off. That's why they're mid-priced for a reason. They're risky. But that's the risk we got to take. We're up 21 minutes nearly, so we're going to quickly round off these rookies. I can talk about my captain option. I think you probably already know. So we've got Levi Ashcroft. Sorry, we've got Sartis first. Very confident in his midfield role. Should be a great pick on field, I would think. Then we got Levi Ashcroft. Now, I know people say sub-risk. Personally, I really liked his game. I liked what I saw in the practice match. He's got that seagull about him, the real stat paddy kind of play style, which I love. And we, super coaches, we love players that care about their stats because they're going to go out there and actually try and get us points. And then Mitch Nevitt. So these 3 guys I really want on field, and they've kind of dictated my structure. I really didn't want to go that extra mid because I want to have these 3 on field. I think they're capable of scoring in the 90s, comfortably. Ashcroft might struggle just with roll because there's obviously so many guns in that midfield, but I think he can do enough around the ground. I think he scored about like a 90 in the practice match. So yeah, really like his game. This is Levi I'm talking about, obviously. And then to round out the mids, look, we've gone. Oh, sorry. I said I was fading Kako. I've got him on the bench in the midfield at the moment, but this could be O'Driscoll. So it was initially going to be O'Driscoll, but we've got Kako for now. So everything I said about Kako, I still stand, but it's going to be him or O'Driscoll. I'm just not sure which one yet. So Kako's there for now. Then we have Camper Rally, and then we have Boxall. Where are you, Boxall? Who I really liked his game in the practice match. Not too sure about job security. Where is he? He's got to be in more teams than this, doesn't he? There he is, 22. Yeah. So like I said, Kako can become O'Driscoll, so don't take that too seriously. Obviously, the overall structure of the team is set. And yeah, I actually did a notepad with some of my plans. Basically, I want to get Dacos probably round 5 or 6, and we're looking at round 7 or 8 to get Cherry for Koenig. So that's so Callaghan around 2 or 3, Dacos around 5 or 6, and Cherry around 7 or 8, if I can. Obviously, it's, wishful thinking to be able to bring in a player whenever you'd like, but that's my plan anyway. So let's talk about captains real quick. I think Sheasel's a great option. I think De Koning as a vice is also a great option. If De Koning goes 150 plus, do you bring a loop in? This is something I thought about. I think if you're starting Max Gawn, I don't think you do that. I think you let Max Gawn do what he does. And then, yeah, so would you go a Sheasel against the weakened Bulldogs mid? I think you probably could. I don't think he'll get a tag. It seems like Bulldogs don't tend to tag. Who else has a relatively easy matchup? I mean, if you start a Cripps or something, you probably could do that. Don't think many people are going Cripps. Who else is another one? I mean, all the matchups are pretty close, pretty tight. Like, Sydney-Brisbane's going to be a blockbuster. I think, yeah, De Koning, pretty obvious VC. We know what he's capable of as a sole ruck. And for me, it's Max Gawn. Sorry, I forgot about Tristan Cherry. Obviously, Cherry's going to be a very good option this week against English, who gives up a lot of points to rucks, especially rucks that are named Tristan Cherry. So yeah, that's it for the video, guys. Let me know what you think of my final team. I'm pretty confident. Is it risky? I don't think it's too risky. Like, the midfield's obviously a bit weak when you look at it, in comparison to past years where you start your 3 Uber premiums or whatever, or 2 Uber premiums. We've got really none. It's kind of, a premium and then, 2 premiums and 3 mid prices, really. Even Rosie's getting close to that mid price. So, yeah, it's a bit of a weird year, but playing the value game. So yeah, let's see what happens. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.